I just woke up to help a child, and of course, wide awake, and no better time to seek God. So I was just thinking about, you know, asking God, what can I do to uh, be more focused on Him, and what can I do to be more true to Him, and just asking Him to show me, and I I think He wants me to challenge you. I feel like He wants me to challenge you. And so I'm not a conventional speaker, and my faith is definitely not a cookie cutter thing. So the way I talk may not sound like a preacher, because I'm not. But I want to challenge you. What are some things that you do every single day that you feel like you can't give up? And so this is something that I have been challenging myself on for years. And it's gotten, I've had varying degrees of it, of challenging myself, but it started with having a major health problem when I was younger, and researching and finding out that the best way to heal my body, I had a giant tumor on my ovary. Through research, the best way to heal my body was to rid my body of toxins, which means chemicals that I expose my body to, with cleaning supplies, things that I put on my body, even things that I eat, the type of things that I eat, and it's 3:30, so I'm just gonna stumble through my words a little bit, but I want to challenge you. What can't you give up? What can't you give up? No, let's look at it in a perspective of, if you ridded, that's not a word. If you were to make a choice to rid yourself of some routines, some things that you do every single day, would it free up your time? Would it free up your focus? Would it allow, do you feel like you don't have time to pray? That's a dead giveaway that you need to clear out your life of the things that you do. So, here's something that's bugging me. I'm going to get right to the point, because this is bugging me. I'm seeing tons and tons of videos posted on YouTube of, I'm just going to cut to the chase, girls that are covered with makeup talking about God gave them a dream or whatever. And they're entirely focused on the way they look, and you can tell by the way their body language, you can tell. And I'm saying y'all need to knock it off. Nobody cares if your lips look good, okay, when you're talking about God. It's distracting. It's rude. It's rude to God. You might not like what I'm saying. You need to make some time in your life, okay? And here's why I can point my finger. I want this to sound loving but stern. My whole life, I was a hairdresser for 22 years, and my whole life was all about, I had to look good so that people would respect my work in a way. I guess that's maybe not the right way to put it, but I had people come into the salon and choose me because they liked the way I looked. They wanted me to do their hair because they liked the way I looked. And even back then, even when I was focused on vanity, I still never wanted to wear a ton of makeup. I just wanted to look the way I looked, no matter what that meant. And I wanted to be genuine. I didn't like the thought of if someone would see me without makeup on, that they would say I looked very different. And I just always felt like that was such a big deal. Like, it was important not to do that. And so I'm not saying you're a sinner if you wear makeup. On occasion, I'd like to, but I gave it up for a while because I wanted to be who I really was in the eyes of other people, whatever that meant, no matter what I looked like, no matter how imperfect I looked. And so, although that's just one example of what I'm talking about, I challenge you ladies to make some time in your life, because when you're putting on makeup, not only is it taking up your time, but you're focused on how you look. And it keeps you focused on how you look throughout the day. You're focusing on yourself. So I don't want to sound condemning, but I'm going to tell you right now, every time I see a video of a girl caked on with makeup talking about God, I'm going to go right past it. That is, no, it's time to grow up. It's time to take off the mask, okay? We all have our, selves that we put on that we want other people to see. But then, what about food? What about food that you can't give up? What about something that you're like, I can't live without that. Every day I have to have that. Like coffee, for me, okay? I've been strict with my diet for years, and I'm not saying that I don't ever eat anything, that's got sugar in it, or that's bread, or I'm not saying I don't eat those things. I'm saying I don't eat those things often. And I'm saying coffee was something that I felt like I needed every day. And not only every day, but all day. And I never used to be like that. I just started that about 5 years ago. And it was pretty much the one thing that I hadn't sacrificed yet. I have made strict sacrifices and have been very happily surprised with the results with my spiritual life, and feeling freedom, feeling like things don't have a grip on me. And so I gave up coffee, and I talked about this in my last video. I experienced healing because of it, and I think it goes back to, God didn't show me a verse about this or anything like he does with a lot of things, but it goes back to the verse, and I should quote it, but I didn't look it up because God didn't say, hey, read, this verse is about this. But I do feel like it goes back to this only comes out with praying and fasting. And with me, that was definitely true because Jesus said that. I know. And this is why I just don't even want to come off as somebody who's so practiced that I have it all memorized and I've thought this whole thing out. I just really want to come at you real. Just want to come at you real. And I don't want to be cookie cutter faith. I don't want to be premeditated, I guess. I don't know. So I'm challenging you. I want you to rid yourself. And hey, the more things the better. Pray about it. Ask God. You know yourself, some people can't just quit things cold turkey. I personally feel like that is the best way to quit anything is to go cold turkey. And don't give in. Don't give in. I mean, don't be weak. You have the Holy Spirit to strengthen you. Don't be weak. Replace that time that you normally spent on that thing. You know how much time I spent making coffee during the day? I feel silly for doing that. I feel, wow, I was filling time, I suppose, but if you've ever thought praying without ceasing is impossible, it means you're spending too much time filling up your time. So, just your focus. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling like there's just too much to do and there's not enough time in the day, it means you just got too many things that you're doing in your routine. And it's okay to chill out on that stuff, okay? Just, you don't need chocolate every single day. You don't need coffee every single day. You need water. I'm preaching to myself, okay? But I'm also preaching from what I've been going through. And for the last 2 weeks, I've been drinking water like crazy. If you can't do something in moderation, here's the point. If you can't do something in moderation, don't do it. Don't do it, okay? If it's not good for you, meaning if you can't limit yourself, then you need to stay away from that thing. Make space, okay? Make space for God. The thing is, a lot of people have taken on a lifestyle of Christian living that is not Christian living at all, and they don't even realize it, and it's time to stop. It's time to we're not this weak. We're not this weak. Is there shows that you can't go without watching every single day? I mean, do you feel like you can't live your life without some noise around you in terms of like, oh, I've just got to have the TV on all the time? And you know what? I know a lot of people don't like me saying this, but if you need constant noise, you're trying to drown something out, okay? And I'm pinpointing you because I love you, and I want to speak the truth into your life, and I want you to experience victory. So I just don't even want to dance around trying to excuse why people do what they do. And I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody. I'm saying I've been practicing this for over 20 years. And I think that it has allowed for God to direct my heart. Doesn't mean I'm perfect. Doesn't mean I'm better than anybody. It just means I feel closer to God than when I am not being strict and careful about my life. And those things matter. Those things matter. The chemicals that you put on your body, the creams that you use, the scented things that you use, all that stuff matters. All that stuff has chemicals in it. All that stuff, it's toxins in your body. And if you ever come, like, let's say for instance, a lot of people don't know this, there's a cure for cancer. You can be healed on your deathbed if you change your lifestyle. And guess what? The guy who came up with it was assassinated in the 1920s because all you gotta do is get all the toxins out of your life and you'll heal. Okay, maybe that doesn't sound like a miraculous thing, but it happens very quickly. Very quickly. And so all the people that are crying, oh, I need God to heal me, and please pray for me that God will heal me, and yet their life is the same. They're not giving anything up. They're just filled with toxins. Wouldn't it make sense that if the devil hates us, that would be a perfect inroad to take us out, is by causing us to be addicted to things that literally kill us? And if you're in the process of speeding up your death, aren't you going to be clouded in your thinking? Aren't you going to be like tired and focused on that thing that you won't stop doing? I mean, doesn't that just make a little bit of sense to you? This all isn't so incredibly spiritual when it comes to healing. It's not, God's not going to heal you and you just continue to take toxins into your life. And visually too. Visual toxins, what you listen to, what you're willing to, what kind of shows are you watching? Are you watching things about sorcery? Are you watching things about witchcraft? Are you watching things about magic? I mean, that stuff is serious. It's no joke. Don't replace what God has for you. Don't replace what He has for you. Wake up. Wake up. Stop replacing Him with everything in this world. This world is not our home. And you know what? I said this before. If this isn't tugging at your heart, just scroll on by. Because not everyone, this isn't for everybody. This is only for the ones that know they need to hear it. I could keep beating this subject, but I think you get the point. Please challenge yourself. Give some stuff up and see what happens. I don't think fasting is just a sometimes thing. Fasting is something we do more than not. If you want real results in your life, if you want real results, okay, like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that I don't eat chocolate, but I definitely don't eat chocolate every day. And I sure as heck don't do any of these things all day anymore. I'm done with that. The one thing I do is drink water all day. Try it. See how you feel. See how much clearer your thinking is in these things. You pray to God and ask Him, Lord, what's standing in my way? What am I doing that is blocking you? Keep asking God that, because we're never going to be perfect on this earth. But He meant for so much more. There's so much more for us. We should be dedicated and sanctified, and that has everything to do with what you do, how you live your life. So think about it. Ask God. Ask Him to show you. Ask Him to teach you. Pray to Him and say, Lord, what can I do different? And then don't talk. Just sit there and wait for Him. Be thinking about it all the time. Pray without talking. Pray in your head all the time. I'm always praying. All throughout the entire day. And that doesn't mean that I still don't take time out for quiet time for myself. But one thing that I don't do is I don't make it a religious routine that I set aside. And some people do this, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying you need to ask God for yourself. Some people need to do it this way. For me, I prefer, I have done it before where I set aside a specific time that I was going to go pray to God, and I was going to read this certain book, and I'm going to listen to this certain app or whatever. Every time I've tried to set up like a routine thing, it basically died. And it just wasn't possible because God's not looking for routines. And that has to do with idol sacrifices. We're not talking about idol sacrifices here. That's just basically sacrificing to an idol in a way, because you're more focused on what you're sacrificing. Okay, that can be a thing too. So there's a balance. There's a constant. One thing I think, just ask God. For me, I don't have like a very specific routine. I'm listening to God, and I'm trying to be willing to do something different with Him. Now, if you need to commit and that's what works good for you to a specific way, do it. But if the Spirit leaves and you're feeling lifeless about it and it's just like going through the motions, then you need to switch it up. There's more than enough time in the day to seek Him and hear from Him. So come on, people, let's do this. Don't be so focused on yourself. Don't be so focused on what you love to do. And there's a deeper connection that we need with the Lord, and there's a deeper fulfillment that comes from it, and it's the fulfillment that your heart is longing for. It's literally written in your DNA. He wrote a code in you that only He can fulfill. And when you let Him do that, you watch the strongholds drop off of you like melted butter. Okay? Don't think that you can't enjoy things. Okay? Like alcohol. Let's talk about that. If you have a problem drinking, you're not going to be able to do this in moderation. Know yourself. Seek God and know yourself. The Bible says drunkenness is wrong. Not having a drink once in a while. That's not sinning. But if you can't handle having a drink once in a while, then don't do it. Just, okay? For anybody who has an addiction to anything, hey, how about masturbation? Is that something you can't stop doing that? Challenge yourself. Give it up. Don't give in. Just give it up. Be stronger than that. You are stronger than that if you have the Holy Spirit in you. Go cold turkey. Try it. I'm telling you, the code in your DNA will not be fulfilled by anything else but the presence of the Lord. Okay? Take me serious on this. I'm saying this because it's what I've been doing. This is my personal testimony. This is what I have been doing. And I've noticed a huge peace, and understanding, healing. I hear God speak to me. And I don't fit the pattern. I don't want to. I want to have a real experience with God, not one that looks like every other person's experience. I don't want a cookie cutter life. I want to be me. I want to be the real me with God. And I want God to say, I like the real you. I love the real you. So take me serious. Be blessed.